Have a little gift for my YouTube viewers. This is a poem that kind of puzzled me since I was 6 and got the book as a gift called Now We Are Six. And it's a book full of poems about Christopher Robin and Winnie the Pooh. And this is a very long poem about King John's Christmas. And I'll talk a little bit more about it when I'm done. I have the script right in front of me here on the monitor, so I don't need to look down or anything. And if I get a catch in my throat or a tear in my eye while I'm reading, it's just because for me, it's a bit of an emotional poem, and I'll share that with you when I'm finished. So here we go. King John's Christmas by A. Milne. King John was not a good man. He had his little ways, and sometimes no one spoke to him for days and days and days. And men who came across him while walking in the town gave him a supercilious stare or passed with noses in the air. And bad King John stood dumbly there, blushing beneath his crown. King John was not a good man, and no good friends had he. He stayed in every afternoon, but no one came to tea. And round about December, the cards upon his shelf wished him lots of Christmas cheer and fortune in the coming year, were never from his near and dear, but only from himself. King John was not a good man, yet he had his hopes and fears. They'd given him no present now for years and years and years. But every year at Christmas, while minstrels stood about, collecting tribute from the young, for all the songs they might have sung, he stole away upstairs and hung a hopeful stocking out. King John was not a good man. He lived his life aloof. Alone, he thought a message out while climbing up on the roof. He wrote it down and propped it against the chimney stack. To all and sundry near and far, Father Christmas in particular, and signed it not Johannes R., but very humbly, Jack. I want some crackers and I want some candy. I think a box of chocolates would come in handy. I don't mind oranges. I do like nuts. And I should like a pocket knife that really cuts. And oh, Father Christmas, if you love me at all, bring me a big red India rubber ball. King John was not a good man. He wrote this message out and gat him to his room again, descending by the spout. And all that night he lay there, a prey to hopes and fears. I think that's him a-coming now. Anxiety bedewed his brow. He'll bring one present anyhow, the first I've had for years. Forget about the crackers and forget about the candy. I'm sure a box of chocolates would never come in handy. I don't like oranges and I don't want nuts. And I have got a pocket knife that almost cuts. But oh, Father Christmas, if you love me at all, bring me a big red India rubber ball. King John was not a good man. Next morning, when the sun rose up to tell a waiting world that Christmas had begun, and people seized their stockings and opened them with glee, and crackers, toys, and games appeared, and lips with sticky sweets were smeared, King John said grimly, as I feared, nothing again for me. I did want crackers, and I did want candy. I know a box of chocolates would come in handy. I do love oranges. I did want nuts. And oh, if Father Christmas had loved me at all, he would have brought me a big red India rubber ball. King John stood by the window and frowned to see below the happy bands of boys and girls all playing in the snow. A while he stood there watching and envying them all, when through the window, big and red, there hurtled by his royal head and bounced and fell upon the bed an India rubber ball. And oh, Father Christmas, my blessings on you fall for bringing him a big red India rubber ball. And that's the end of that poem. And the reason it brings tears to my eyes is, I don't know, as a kid, this poem puzzled me quite a bit. Because for me, kings were powerful people who could get anything they wanted. And how was it that this very powerful, renowned man couldn't even get the, social niceties of the citizens of where he lived, and nobody gave him anything. It just was a real puzzle to me, and I felt very sad for him. And so the end of it, for me anyway, represents forgiveness, redemption. And I guess as a kid, sometimes you feel like you're completely powerless. Your well-being is dependent upon your parents and other authority figures in your life. And yeah, and oftentimes I think as kids, we feel we're just not doing things right, or somehow we get punishment for things we didn't even know we were guilty of. And so this notion of however it happened wasn't really a gift. It just sort of hurtled through the window. But regardless, he still did get his heart's desire, which interestingly isn't any of the things that he asked for, at least the other list of things, but it was a toy, something to play with, something to be a child again about. So that's my Christmas present to you. I hope you enjoyed it.